All right, today we are going to try to make a tool to make hub pulling a little bit easier. This is basically a hub here that I've already pressed off the back piece. This is basically off a Chevrolet truck, Chevrolet Vans, 1500 to the 6 slug. Off. This one happens to be off like a 2004 Chevrolet pickup truck, 4-wheel drive. The hub's gone bad, and what happens is usually you have to go in there with your slide hammer, hook it onto the front here, and then bang your brains out to try to get it out. Well, they make another tool to get these out. I don't want to mention the brand names, I don't want to get in trouble, but it's more of a lever style tool. So we are going to see if we can make a lever style tool to get this out, and I'll show you what we're going to do. There's the camera here. So I've already pressed this hub off the back, no, actually the bearing piece off the back of the hub, and I'm going to use this hub. The first thing I did is I drove out all of the wheel studs. This had 6 wheel studs. So basically how this is going to work is, let me put this up in the vise here. The tool basically uses holes, and it's got a long piece of metal that comes out. What you do is you bang on the metal, so it kind of acts like a lever, almost like a can opener. So I disassembled this. First thing we're going to have to do is clean it all up. So I went to my used metal pile, and I found this bent up trailer hitch that was in an accident, and you can see it's bent right here, but actually it's almost perfect. So what I plan to do with it is we are going to mount this guy. Let me see if I can get this thing to clamp in here again. We are going to mount him just like that. All right. So once this is all welded up, and we're going to have to cut this piece off so this fits better to the hub, then your original hub is going to be in the car on this side. The studs are going to stick through. We can put the lug nuts on this side, and then what you end up doing is you take a hammer and you whack it here, and then the whole thing will pop out. So we're going to take and make the tool instead of spending the $120 on buying the tool. So let me get this stuff cleaned up and welded up, and we'll see what it looks like when the tool is done. I don't have a truck here today to try it on, but we will have a truck here probably earlier next week, and I'll make a video of it, and I'll put these 2 videos together. So I had some complaints of people saying that I don't show exactly what I do. So I'm going to start videotaping and see what happens. So we're going to start cleaning all the rust off this. Alright, that looks pretty clean. Got everything all pretty clean now. And we'll go ahead and assemble it and get it ready for welding. Now that I've got all the surfaces clean, what I did is I went ahead and got a piece of safety wire. I double looped it and twisted it tight to get the piece in position where I want it, so this fits the flat as possible so I can get in here and weld. So what I'll do is I'll get the welder out and I'll tack it and then weld all this up. Try to get in here, which I doubt I'll be able to, and try to get a good bead all the way around this. I might have to take and make a triangle piece to fit in here just to give it more support. We'll see how it goes. Let's go over a little welder safety. First thing, gloves, leather welding gloves, must have, must wear, all right? Number two, shielding helmet to shield your eyes. I also have a do-rag that I wear to try to keep the sparks, because the sparks will go behind the helmet and burn you. Then the third thing is a helmet. I mean, not the helmet, sorry, the jacket. Got to have some type of welding jacket to protect you, protect your neck from burns. And it's a full sleeve jacket, so it comes down and protects your wrists. The gloves will protect your hands. Okay, I'm also wearing long uniform pants, and I do not have a lighter in my pocket. The sparks generated from welding, the sparks will go right through a pair of pants, melt the lighter, and explode. I understand that the explosion from a butane lighter can be as much as like a quarter stick of dynamite, so you definitely do not want to have a lighter in your pocket. So there's just a little bit of welder safety. Never weld without a helmet. Never weld without a helmet and the proper safety gear. I actually got my top of my hand got burned really bad one time when I wasn't wearing my gloves. And then also you want to protect yourself from the light that the weld puts off. It is a radioactive type of light that'll burn you, so you want to keep yourself protected. All right, we'll get the welder up. I'll get all my safety gear on, and we'll see if we can tack this in place and then do some welds. Okay, real quick, another thing too, I know my shop area is a mess, but I have removed any paper or oily rags or aerosol cans that could melt, and I also have the fire extinguisher. So let's set you way over here, and let's see. Yeah, it looks pretty good. All right, got my jacket on, my gloves. I'm just going to tack it first, and then we'll move into a different position. Good. Oh, and also too, I cleaned a spot off here, so my ground has a very good ground. You want to be sure you have an excellent ground when you're welding. If you don't have a good ground, you're not going to have a strong weld.
hell are you doing there?
Making a tool.
Hey, where's the gearbox that needs to go out? Go back.
Carburetors here, dude.
Oh, you're doing that smacking thing, yeah.
Yeah, the welder doesn't seem like it's welding real good, but we'll see what happens. Much better. I slowed the feed down. Actually, did I slow it down or speed it up? I sped the feed up a little bit, and that sounds much better. Wire brush also comes in handy too. Whoops. Forgot to hook the ground wire back up, but it was laying on the bench, so it was grounded through the bench on through. But still not what I want. I got too close and it welded itself to the tip. Go. Come on, I'm not that close. This is the problem I've been having with this welder. After you weld for a while, it seems like it just peters out. That's up done. Yeah, there's not. You're not getting that sound of like frying bacon like you're supposed to. Yeah, I think I need to get a new welder. But it looks like it lasted long enough to get a good weld. Looks like I got a pretty good weld there. And that looks like it's welded pretty good. So hopefully that'll be strong enough. I might have to gusset it. Yeah, this welder, I've had it to a different place and had it worked on, and it still works for a while, then it peters out like the transformer gets hot, and then it doesn't work right. All right, well, we'll let this cool down, and maybe let the welder cool down. Maybe I'll be able to get it in here and get a bead, and try to get a bead up in there. All right, what I ended up doing is I changed the tip on the gun, and it seemed to weld much better. I think the tip was just worn out. So there's some of my welds there. I went back and retouched up on. And let me sit you down here. I know it's going to be hot, so. So you get a good look in there. That weld looks pretty good. Looks good all the way around. So next step on this is going to be to cut this flange off to get this as close to the other hub as possible. Because I don't think the studs stick out that far, so coming from the other stud, I don't think they're going to stick far enough through to get a bolt on nut on, excuse me. So we'll have to cut this lip off. We're going to cut the flange off now. All right. Well, that looks good enough. We'll take and grind it down with my die grinder or my 90-degree grinder and get it a little bit better looking. pretty well shot that grinding wheel, and I don't have another one, so that looks good enough. All right, all we got to do now is wait for the truck, and we'll give it a try. All right, we got the Chevrolet truck here. Here's the tool. We took the brake caliper off, the brake caliper mounting bracket, the rotor. We've taken the 3 bolts out of the hub. Here is the hub tool. We're gonna load the hub tool up and see if it will work like the $125 tool. And just for ha-has, we're going to take and put as many lug nuts as we can on it. It doesn't really matter because we're not going to be using these lug nut studs anyway. So we just want to make sure we get these tight.
Where's the Sludge-O-Matic?
Sludge-O-Matic is right behind me.
That one, or do you want the big
Well,
one?
I got the big one too. So now the only question is, how should we hit it? Should we hit it down this way, or should we put it up and hit it this way? So I guess, well, first we'll try this way. So let me just double check again. Tight, 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 tight. Oh, not really tight, tight, tight. Okay. So let's see. We'll try shorty. And it just popped right out.
Hit it up. Hit it up. Hit it up. Stop. Okay, hit it down. Okay, stop. Stop.
Wow. But probably
Yeah, it's
binding
binding
the axle.
I know.
Well, actually, it doesn't matter. Why don't you, can you grab it up here so it doesn't go flying?
Yeah.
They just grab it up there so it doesn't go flying. Just take and tap it and it start pulling out on it a little bit.
Hold on. Hit it down. Okay, hit it. Okay. There.
There.
That's what did it. That was a whole lot easier, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah. It was just stuck on the axle shaft there, but obviously the free tool has worked properly where you don't beat your brains out. All right, great. I think it's a win.